Thanks, Dave. All right, listen to this scary story. This was an already worrisome situation. It became even more terrifying when the parent of an 11-month-old who was having trouble breathing brought the baby to the emergency room. And when she arrived at the ER, she discovered it was deserted. The only person that she could find was a security guard, and it wasn't even employed by the hospital. Margot LaPointe and her son Avery join us now. Hi, Margot. How's Avery doing?
He's feeling much better. He's improved a lot since that night.
Okay, let's talk about what happened. Tuesday night, Avery was having breathing issues. You called your pediatrician, the emergency hotline at midnight. The pediatrician said, get to the hospital as soon as possible. You went to your closest emergency room. And what happened when you got to the emergency room?
I rushed into the emergency room entrance ahead of my husband, who was behind me with the baby, following me in. I ran straight ahead where the registration tables are, where all the employees would normally be found. There was not one hospital employee in sight, not even a janitor. And I rushed over to the security guard, who is not a hospital employee, and I said, where is everyone? He said, there is one employee working. She's out back helping people. Sit and wait. Are you here to be seen? I said, yes, my child's having a hard time breathing. He picked up the phone and called back to let them know someone was there to be seen. And I ran around. No one came out. I ran up and down. There's a hallway where all the cubbies, where the cubicles are, where you would typically register for assistance. Not even a janitor. Could not find one employee. The entrance, there were two double doors as you're standing in that hallway looking for help. One set of double doors on your right enters the main part of the hospital. The other set on your left enters the inside of the emergency room where the folks were. The doors are all locked. You cannot access help through them. You cannot get to anyone. I ran back to the security guard and said, please call back. Tell them my child, my infant is out here struggling to breathe. He looked me in the eye and he said, no, they're out there helping important patients. You sit and wait.
Oh, my gosh. Just one. He said there was just one employee, meaning one doctor, I guess, was on duty in this emergency room but was already with other patients, and they would have just left you there languishing for God knows how long.
Yes, this could have happened to anyone walking into that emergency room for assistance. There were other people sitting around waiting for assistance. I just did not have time to wait. I am the one patient that ran in and could not wait.
So what did you do at that point?
I couldn't wait any longer. I begged the security guard. He wouldn't assist me in letting them know that it was a stat emergency in my eyes. So I ran back out of the hospital. We jumped in my vehicle. I drove around to the main entrance of the hospital, ran to the main doors, desperate for help, and I banged on the front doors. They were locked, and it was all shut down. It was dark. It was a ghost town. The building might as well have been just an empty building at that point.
Let me tell you what the hospital says. They've given us a statement here. It says the situation in which the LaPointe family experienced in the waiting area of our emergency department was inconsistent with our standards of patient care, and we have apologized to them. No one would deliberately overlook a patient, and we've been working diligently since we became aware of the situation to determine its cause and the appropriate resolution. Does that give you comfort?
It does not give me comfort at this time until I know exactly what repercussions will be in effect for the people responsible for that evening when my child's life was in danger in my eyes, and what steps they will take to ensure this does not happen to another person again. There are people who enter those doors that don't have a vehicle. English is not their primary language. They don't have the means that I happen to have that night and the wits about me to get some help for my son. I've been criticized. Why didn't you call an ambulance? I was at the destination an ambulance would bring me to, and I could not get help. The system was failing me, and I had to take action in my own hands for the benefit of my son, who was counting on me.
And ultimately what you did was drive to another hospital. It wasn't as close to your home,
yes,
but you ended up being able to get help for Avery. And did you find out what was the problem with Avery?
He was discharged as having pneumonia.
Wow. Well, scary stuff. I know that you've said that you don't want to sue the hospital. You are speaking out now. Why?
Because as a parent, we are advocates for our children. We are their voice. But even in a larger picture, I love my doctors that are affiliated with the hospital. I delivered my son there. I had a wonderful experience. I call them the dream team. And I am very upset that the hospital I consider to be my hospital, where my doctors are, and where there, in my opinion, are world-class doctors behind those doors, if you can access them, everyone should be outraged, and everyone should have immediate and affordable health care when they need it. And what good is it to have even the best doctors if they're behind locked doors and you cannot access them when you need them most?
Great point. Margot LaPointe, thanks for telling us your story. We're so happy that Avery's okay, and thanks for coming in this morning to share it with us. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, coming up,